So why are you so nervous, he says. I'm nervous because I'm a Kansas Jayhawk. And I know it's not exactly, the school of choice here. So the truth of the matter is I'm a Nebraska Cornhusker, but that's just embarrassing these days to say. Let's share with you a bit about the Aqua Nation, Israel, as I refer to it. I'd ask you for your reactions to Israel. And you tell me things like, Israel is the birthplace of monotheism, Judaism, Christianity, Islam, and it is that. You tell me about, unfortunately, Hamas, terror, and that is true, though it's an incredibly safe place. I gotta say, I feel oftentimes more safe there than I do in America. My daughters had no curfew, 10 years old, 10, 12 o'clock at night, walking home in the dark, never thought twice about it. Here, I would never let them do that. Well, Manhattan I might, but Denver I wouldn't. And you don't have to look very far in the Bible to see water. Water is there at the outset of the creation story. It's the only thing that's there when God begins to create. If you look at the 7 days of creation, regardless of what you believe about it, how we tell a story says a lot about who we are as a people. So again, religion aside, this is a textbook on water. 5 of the 7 days are about water, or dealing with water. There isn't a close second. Israel now is ranked as the 8th most powerful country in the world. I mean, little Israel. It has more companies on the NASDAQ, by the way, than any other country except for the US, makes sense, it's our stock exchange, and China, 1 billion Chinese, less than 9 million Israelis. It would be understandable if it was a nothing of a country, but that's not what it is. I'm focused on these with my company Relaunch. I believe that water is the shining jewel in the crown of Israeli innovation. Israel, I don't know if it's the first or only, but it is a country that has declared itself independent from the climate for its water. In 2013, it declared itself as water independent and ending 3,500 plus years of water scarcity. It may not be replicable from Israel to the US or to Kansas. Some of it will be. Let's talk best practice, but in the process, don't think replication, think inspiration. Relaunch is a nonprofit based in, Nebraska, but we are now spread throughout the Silicon Prairie, and I'll explain that. And our mission is to connect the startup nation with the Silicon Prairie, with the US Midwest. One of your assets is not boasting rights, bragging rights. You just don't do that in the Midwest. Well, we got to take a little playbook from the Israelis. It's called chutzpah. It's called audacity. We've got to tell a better story about ourselves. The Midwest? What does that mean anyways? We're in the middle, we're not the West, we're not the East, we should be the Mideast. The Mideast is already taken. We need a new story, a new narrative. We are the Silicon Prairie. Did you know that individually, Kansas, Iowa, Nebraska, they would never be ranked as contenders on the world stage? But in their aggregate, even some of these states, GDP would make us the 4th or 5th largest country in the world. I can't sell Kansas to Israelis. They're going to Boston. 4% last year of Boston's GDP were Israeli technology companies. $9 billion in direct revenue. 3,000 jobs. I can't get them to come here, but I can get them to come to Nebraska and Kansas and Iowa and the Silicon Prairie, because as a network, we are impressive. We are 25 to 35% of the world's Fortune 500 companies here in the Silicon Prairie. We are 9 out of 10 agricultural leaders in this country. We're going to have to learn to live without water or learn to live with less water. So that is what we believe that this great state and this country of Israel can do together. We can figure out our problems. We can get busy finding solutions to our water scarcity challenge. And I had to end with this. I'm sorry. Rock Chalk, Jayhawk.